Live.
Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition and pre-WrestleMania show. The last show before WrestleMania. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with the start of the show. And we also have some late breaking news. So stay tuned. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, we've got some results, Supercard of Honor, breaking news, and more. We'll be with you in just a few minutes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I lied. 30 seconds.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's just Tony and I tonight. Tony, do you want to go with the breaking news that you told me about earlier today?
Well, Nathan, as always, it's always an honor to be with myself. I don't know how much of an honor it is to be with you, but the late breaking news of this podcast is we have signed our second female wrestler to appear on our podcast. And that episode will be live on the podcast on May 8th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we'll be introducing a new up-and-coming independent wrestler that goes by the name of Panda. And she's only been in the business about a year. She's excited to be on the interview, so look forward to that. Now, back to myself. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight from the chair where inclusion matters. We're going to get into some Supercard of Honor prediction or matches, and just do a brief little chat before we do a scheduled interview tonight, maybe. So let me start with the Supercard of Honor matches. So tonight, or this afternoon, was Supercard of Honor, and the first match was Jeff Cobb versus Trey Williams. Your winner of that match, Jeff Cobb. Thoughts, Nathan? No? Good. Moving on.
Well, I do have thoughts on that match. Actually, I'm happy that Jeff Cobb won. No offense to Hot Sauce Tracy Williams. But Jeff Cobb, I think, has a lot of momentum behind him, especially after his match with Kenny Omega on Wednesday. So it's not a big surprise that he won. I believe you told me that Nigel McGuinness showed up also to do commentary, which I think is a brilliant idea by Tony Khan.
Moving on, before I was so rudely interrupted. Second match was...
How's it being... Hold on. How's it being interrupted when you asked me my opinion?
And I said you didn't have any good, and I was moving on to the next match, and you blurted it in anyway.
You paused. therefore implying it was my time to talk.
Next match was Takashima. I'm believing I'm saying that right, Mr. Host.
Yes.
Versus Willie Mack. The winner of that match was Takashima with a running knee. Thoughts on that match? No? Good. Moving on. Next match was Willow Nightingale versus Miranda Alice. Well, Willow Nightingale won that match. Any thoughts on that, Mr. Chairman? Nope. Moving on. Good.
Okay, hold it right there. Hold on. This ain't this ain't gonna happen. First of all, the match with Willie Mack, I'm not surprised because Willie Mack's been on a losing streak lately, if you count all the promotions he's been in. And by the way, the lady that Willow Nightingale wrestled, you pronounce her name Alizé. And she's also known as the Lucha Maddie, by the way, for those who want to look her up later. And I'm not surprised Willow Nightingale won that one with the Gordy Bomb, actually. And thank you to the one viewer we have, which is Dakota. Thank you, Dakota. And how are you tonight?
Well, can I have my show back now? Thank you.
Maybe.
That leads us to the next match, Stu Grayson versus Slim J. The winner of that match is Stu Grayson. After the match, there was a surprise return to ROH. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Dutch and Vincent, the Righteous, are back in ROH. I know, the chairman's speechless. Good, so that means we can move on to the...
Hold on. We're not moving on yet. You brag when you're right on this show, so that's my turn. So, who was it last night? Refresh my memory that said it would be a possibility that Vincent Dutch would be back in ROH. Let's think about that one for a minute. Oh, yeah, that's right. That was me.
Okay, so you get one prediction right. That doesn't mean you're not wearing a dress in August.
Hey, we just said WrestleMania, not...
And the Battle Royal starts tonight, by the way, viewers. So we could know as early as the end of SmackDown if Mr. Nos wears that dress or not.
Again, I think most of the people here at the Frontier would be extremely disappointed if I didn't.
So moving on to the next match, it was the AAA Mega Championship match. And why don't you go ahead and introduce this match, Nathan, and then I'll just give the result.
So it's El Vikingo versus Commander.
And the winner and still AAA Omega champion is Vikingo. Moving on.
Go ahead. We can do it two at a time, and then I'll give my opinion.
Well, you're so full of hot air, I don't want to take your ego away. So go ahead. Talk to us.
Well, I'm not surprised on that one either because Vikingo is probably one of the best wrestlers in the world right now. If you look at the stuff that he can do. I think Tony Khan should sign him to an AEW contract if he can work out something with the promotion that he's working in Mexico. So, and please, can we see a Kenny Omega Vikingo too?
All right. That's enough from the long-winded chairman. Otherwise, if I give him an inch, he'd speak a mile. So, moving on. The ROH six-man tag team championship. The Embassy versus Metal League, Blake Christian, and AR Fox. Now, this is a match that everybody on this show last night thought was going to go one way. Because everybody at this prediction also said that one certain man might be going to WWE. However, winners and still six-man champions, the Embassy. The winner of that match, however, was very surprising. He hit the drill claw on Meta Elite. Brian Cage won that match. Now, I know Nathan's really intrigued on this match and has a lot of good insight on this match, so I'm not even going to dog him this time. Nathan, take it away.
So the last two matches I said I wasn't surprised. This one I am surprised. Because like Tony said, we thought he was going to WWE. And I'm a little interested on why they had Brian Cage get the pin unless he signed an extension. But then as Tony was talking, I thought of another point. Maybe he is leaving and Tony Khan just didn't want to drop the titles to AR Fox, Christian, and Metalik. So maybe on Tuesday on Ring of Honor, they'll defend him again and they'll drop him against somebody else. Like, I don't know, maybe Dalton Castle, the boys again or something.
Okay, and as we were doing results for that one, the ROH Women's Championship was decided, and they just debuted a brand new women's title for ROH tonight on Supercard of Honor.
Yes, for those who don't know, they're actually debuting all their new belts. Claudio has a new belt also. It's more streamlined. It looks like the old-fashioned ROH championships.
And I believe Wheeler also got a new Pure Championship title, too.
Yes, and whoever will win the Reach for the Sky Boy ladder match will get the new tag championships.
So as I was saying, that match had just finished as we were going through some of the results. So this match pitted Athena, the champion, versus Yaka Sasaki.
Yakasaki.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So the next matchup, though, is very, very intriguing as well, as it is one half of the current 12-time World Tag Team Champions of ROH, Mark Briscoe versus Samoa Joe. That's the next matchup. But back to the results of this show.
Okay.
Athena defeats Yakasaki. There we go. So she is still women's champion.
Not a huge surprise here. I don't know who's going to beat Athena for that ROH championship.
They're so cute.
I mean, you haven't seen Mercedes Martinez for a while. On Tuesday, she already beat Emi Sakura. So, unless you bring somebody from the AEW roster down, if it is down, I don't know how his promotions, or you can put Miranda Alizé. I think Miranda Alizé and Athena would have a great match.
Or you wait for an up-and-coming wrestler, say Tonette Worth, and she can take the title off of.
Yes, Tonette Welch would definitely take the title off of Athena.
Yeah, and the way that she talks, she can even take the title off Jade and become the new baddie. We miss you, Tonette, by the way, if you're watching.
Yes, she'll be on tomorrow night.
Tomorrow afternoon, Not
tomorrow
afternoon. Night. Tomorrow afternoon. Man, you can't even get your time of day right. What would you do without me?
I'd be lost without you, to be perfectly honest.
Of course you would. Because I'm better than you, and you know it. And I just told you so you know it.
Yes, and Mr. Gino, I told you so. Please don't kill him for stealing part of your catchphrase. I still rely on him for too much for him to be killed right now.
So that is it for results as of right now. I will keep you guys abreast as we get more.
So let's talk a little bit about Miss SOS, and I believe you have her her nickname. I'm learning it, but
let's just. I gotta find it. Hold on. So her.
This comes a month after Senator Ron Wyden hosted the WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert at the Sports Bra to meet athletes and talk about how Oregon and Portland have been an epicenter for women's sports.
Hold on.
Into the Sports Bra as he tried to
so well, Tony's helping me look that up. I spent most of the night last night watching videos of SOS, and for those who haven't seen her yet, I highly recommend you look her up on YouTube. She reminds me of the aforementioned Athena. Awesome calm with the movement of the ring, and you ready for this one? Of Big Van Vader.
Whoa, that's a huge comparison.
And what I mean by that is this woman knows how to use her abilities to her best point. That there's no wasted motion with her.
So also we heard that we need to give condolences to Sean Waltman, aka X-Pac.
All right. This is breaking news that I don't even know.
Oh, so I'm actually going to shock even the chairman.
Yes.
I had just read on Facebook his beloved dog Luna had just passed away.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, I know what it feels like to lose a dog, and I know you do also. So.
Yes, I do. So.
But I'd like to get your. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'd like to get your opinion on that comparison I made, especially the last part with saying that she reminds me a lot of Big Van Vader.
I haven't seen as many matches as you have of her, just because I haven't started to do a lot of research yet. But I can see it in her moveset and her mannerisms that yes, you're absolutely right. She does have a lot of Vader in her. Speaking of Vader, I'm going to do yet some more breaking news that Mr. Nathan Noss is in talks with Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling.
Yes. Very preliminary talks, but yes, we're in talks.
So we aren't at the point of making it breaking news yet, but we are just going to share what we are looking at up and coming. We haven't locked in the Colorado Springs wrestling yet, but hopefully here soon we will have an interview with the owner of that promotion.
Yes. And for any independent wrestlers or any wrestlers in general that want to come on the podcast, Tony and I are really good at our research. Personally, when Tony tells me that, hey, he's got, a wrestler, the second he tells me that he has a wrestler, that day I start my research. And Tony can back me up on that.
He's a research guru. He's a research fiend. He's a sponge of knowledge.
Yeah,
but he can still be beat in any trivia question game.
Well, not any trivia question, but I'm sure there's some out there that I don't know.
That's what I was saying. You can be beat.
Snow is on the way and quite a lot of it. So let's take a look at one of those snow forecasts
So,
for Euro. It is really starting right now. By the time we get to 8 o'clock tomorrow,
we're also trying to get, since we brought up the Rocky Mountain one, we're also in contact with Gypsy Mac. And I know, Tony, you started the contact with her.
And again, none of these three possibles, Gypsy Mac, SOS, or Panda, could not have been possible without the help of our wonderful supporter, Jay Sizzle for Rizzle.
Yes, thank you so much, sir.
We've locked in 2 of his 3 female guests that he handed us.
And 2 of his male guests, if you count Plex and Mr. I Told You So.
Oh,
Gino
yeah.
Rivera.
And Gino Rivera and Plex have been Sizzle clients also. So 4 of our next interviews are Jay Sizzle for Rizzle clients.
And we will be trying to get Mr. Sizzle himself on the podcast, possibly with Plex also, which will be interesting for us. I don't think we've ever done two people at once.
So why don't you tell us that radio show that Sizzle does?
Yes, it's the Kitsch Radio group page. That's KICH Radio group page.
So it's Ka-choo!
No, that kind of sounds like a Pikachu attack.
It's Ka-choo!
Either that or it sounds like your allergies are kicking up.
Ooh, radio.
So, again, we want to thank him for all his help and continued support.
Speaking of help and continued support, thank you to the CARE program and Miss Becky Bernhardt for everything that she does for this podcast. Again, without that program, Nathan wouldn't have been able to get the materials that he needed for this podcast that he produces every week. And I'm sure you guys are probably getting tired of seeing his face. But like I said, it's WrestleMania week, and we promise you guys content every day of the WrestleMania week. So
Yes.
That's what we're doing. So tomorrow, he and his co-host, Tonette, will come on and give you her WrestleMania predictions, because Mr. Noss is not allowed to make predictions because he's already made his predictions for WrestleMania.
Although, as I said, I will give my opinion on her predictions.
Well, just because you can't shut up in a podcast and let people give their own predictions or do their own show without you putting your 2 cents in.
Well, if I didn't say anything, I'd just be sitting there on the screen like this.
Well, actually, I got a better picture than that. There, we can sit on the stream with him like that.
No. And for anybody that was wondering what the CARE program stands for, that's Community Action Reaching Everybody. So, and then some of the other shows that we have coming up on the 16th. Well, as Tony said, possibly we'll be doing one later tonight. And then on the 16th, we have Wesley, who is a self-imposed wrestling encyclopedia. So Maybe he can stump me on a couple of things. Also, just came back from the Jericho Cruise back in February, and is an expert on the 1960s wrestling scene as well as the Seattle wrestling scene. So that one should be interesting. On the 23rd, we have legendary manager of the WCWC and currently managing one of the hottest faction in the Pacific Northwest, Hellbound, and that's Mr. Tubbs. And then, as Tony said, on the 29th, we have SOS. And then on May 8th, we have Panda. A lot of exciting things happening, so stay tuned.
And guys, we do interviews every night of the week. So if you guys want to come on and do an interview, let us know. For our wrestling talent or referees or anybody that wants to come on, we're booked out to at least May now, which is really good because we didn't think that this podcast would ever get to the stratosphere that it has. And we have two interviews to thank for that. Again, Plex, with the help of Jay Sizzle for Rizzle.
Yes.
And a big thank you to Vertigo, the Cure Rivera.
Absolutely.
You know, those two interviews were the ones that launched this little podcast into what it is tonight. I mean, you know, thank you for that. And Vertigo, we look forward to interviewing some of your WXW superstars very, very soon.
Yes. And on a personal note, thank you to those two for making this podcast, as Tony said, as big as it is, and helping me make my dream even bigger than I even imagined it would be. Also, I want to thank our sponsors, which the care program is one of them. Also, Bruce Nichols Painting for all your painting needs. Look him up. Also, I want to promote. Excuse me, I have to look at this one. This is a brand new one.
Well, wasn't Bruce Nichols taking appointments right now, though?
Yes, he was.
I wonder if I could hire him to paint your face.
Probably. It'd look a lot better than what it does now. So I'd like to promote a local author. And I know we don't talk about books that much on here because it's a sports and wrestling show. But this lady is a very talented author. Her name is Tiffany Dickinson. And you can find her at TiffanyDickinson@gmail.com. And her book, A Big's Tale and Kaleidoscope, are available wherever books are sold. And I guarantee you'll enjoy both of them. So go purchase one of those and enjoy them, or check them out at a local library. If you know.
Well, you know, we should talk about that. Reading is important. Reading is educational. Maybe we should start just becoming a true podcast and talking about everything under the sun.
Yes. I mean, for me, one of the biggest things, and Tony and I have said, especially with the inclusion matter things, in our catchphrase is just be respectful to everybody, right? And include everybody in everything, regardless of your race, religion, disability, gender. There's too much, he said, she said, hate in the world right now. If people just, focus on what we can do together, I think we'd be in a whole better place than what we are right now.
I do agree with that too. So let's get into another little. I mean, I know it's not here yet, but I'm really looking forward to the main event on night 2 of WrestleMania,
which would be the Cody Rhodes Roman Reigns match.
Which I think, if the rumored entrance for Cody Rhodes is awesome, is going to blow the roof. Well, there is no roof on it. Actually, I guess there is, because it's at SoFi. So yeah, I guess there is kind of a roof on it. I guess it would blow the roof off that new $1 billion stadium there that the Raiders and Chargers, or I'm sorry, not the Raiders, that the Rams and Chargers play in.
Yes. And I think Tony and I both want to thank Dakota for bringing this entrance to our, this possible entrance to our attention. What it was it's Cody doing the royal family, where he whispers it. But instead of his music hitting right away, it's the American Dream music hitting with the cowbell and everything. And then after a couple of minutes, then Cody's music plays and they finish the entrance.
Okay. And another result from Supercard of Honor. Samoa Joe versus Mark Briscoe for the ROH TV Championship.
Please let Mark Briscoe win this one.
Winner and still TV champion. Remember, we're on YouTube.
Sorry, emotions.
Samoa Joe. Which brings us to the Daniel Garcia match. So that's the next matchup.
Daniel Garcia versus Hiroshi Tanahashi.
And then after that, there's 3 matches left, and they're all championship matches. And one match, we promise you, there will be a new champion.
Yes. So we've got the Reach for the Sky ladder match, the world title match, and the Pure Championship.
Yeah, we didn't even actually see this one on there. They must have just added it.
Okay, who's Wheeler Yuta? Yeah, because I didn't see that on the card earlier.
It's another Japanese guy. I'm going to butcher it. It's Kazuchika Shibata.
Shibata. Oh. Okay. Please give me a minute to be long-winded on this one. Shibata is a legend in Japan. Shibata, if I can make it a comparison to anybody in the United States, would be like the Kurt Angle of Japan. Because Shibata, and I mean that not by the Olympics, but so much as far as like starting in another sport and then, doing the crossover thing. Because Shibata started as an MMA fighter in Japan, and I believe for the longest time was undefeated. Then he met. Then he went to the Snake Pit over there in Japan. But then he met a guy named Josh Barnett, who had some ties to the Portland area and trade. The last time I think we saw Shibata on AEW television was when he was wrestling Orange Cassidy for the International Championship. So this match gets me a little more excited now because I know the possibility that it could be. Because the pure wrestling rules fit right into to where Shibata likes to be.
So we didn't get to make a prediction of this match last night, and it hasn't happened yet. So would you like to do a prediction, Nathan?
I'm going to go with Shibata. I'm probably going to be wrong on that one because of the way they're pushing the BCC, but I'm going with what I would like to see on this one. And I would like to see Shibata hold it. Selfishly, because that would mean we could see Shibata more often.
I think because of what you just said last, we're going to see Wheeler Yuta retain with the help of the BCC.
And that's a good possibility. That's kind of why I was going back and forth on that in my head. But sometimes you got to go with your heart over what logic tells you.
So we'll try to stay on long enough to give you the late breaking news and the results as they happen.
Yes. Tony, I think you would like to know, since you're a Braves fan, that the Mets lost again today.
Sorry, Vertigo. I'm gonna go on my little soapbox here. You're a great wrestler. You got an even awesomer father-in-law. And thank you for making us honorary Usos. I'll put my ones up. Even though you can't see me right now because I'm not on camera, but here. I'll put my ones up. The Mets, since they lost Verlander for a couple of weeks, I'm not really scared of. But everybody's going to say, yes, but you lost Max Fried. We lost Max Fried, but at least we still didn't lose our closer.
And the difference in that is Max Fried pulled a hamstring. Those heal a lot better than the shoulder strain that Verlander's dealing with.
So, and again, Mr. I told you so. Don't come kill me. But the Braves will win 95 wins. The Braves will win 95 games this year and win the National League East because I'm better than you, and you know it. And I told you so because the Braves rule.
And we'll also find out tonight, not only will if I have to wear a dress, but if I need personal security to get out of the Mariners game in August. Because as it was brought up on the Vertigo interview, which I concur with everything that Tony said. Thank you so much for giving us an amazing interview. And I will, if I lose, I will wear a Mets hat. And as requested by CPW referee T-Rex, I will also, during the 7th inning stretch, yell out, and I'm sorry for the Mariners fans, which I am one of them, but if I lose, I will yell out, Cubs rule, Mariners drool, or suck, or whatever he wants me to say. So the last part might be what I need the personal security for.
So yes, and it's Mariners drool.
Okay.
But don't get me wrong. As much as I love my Braves, I also love my Mariners too. It's just the Braves have brought me 2 world championships to where the Mariners haven't brought me any yet. So
And we'll see tonight, actually in about 35 minutes, which is the start of the game, if the Mariners can go 2-0 to start the season. Although I do agree with you that last night was a little disappointing, even though we got the win, because of the fact that, like you said, we had so much offense brought in the off season with Colton Long and Teoscar Hernandez, and the only runs you could score was a 3-run home run by Ty France.
yeah, but we're talking baseball. In fact, Nathan's actually giving over his show next week. Yes, breaking news. He's actually going to give up his hosting chair and sit in the assistant coach's chair, the assistant host chair for one podcast. When he brings in our sports insider, our baseball analysis, Stanley Stimson, as host. And we'll probably do that next Monday night.
And that show will be called Sports Talk.
Sports Talk with Stanley.
Yes. And let me tell you one thing about Stanley. You guys think I get excited about wrestling? I can't hold a candle to Stanley when it comes to the Mariners, the Beavers, and
Seahawks.
the Seahawks. So this is going to be a very entertaining podcast and very informative. Because I'm sure Stanley's going to tell me a lot of things that I either A, haven't thought of before, or flat out just didn't know.
And why is that? Because Stanley's smarter than the host, and the host knows it. Because Stanley told him so.
When it comes to college football, yes. When it comes to most stuff about baseball outside of the Mariners, yes.
All right. Let's see.
Oh, and I just remembered one we forgot to mention that we're in talks with, and that's Empower Wrestling. Out of Colorado to help promote some of their up-and-coming wrestlers. So looking forward to having that come together.
And the next match we're going to give a prediction on, well, actually, it's over.
Yeah.
Is the Daniel Garcia and
Shibata?
Shibata.
Nope. That was Wheeler Shibata. My bad.
No, it's Hiro.
It's Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yeah, Tanahashi. So
And
Tanahashi.
I went with Tanahashi last night.
And the host is absolutely correct.
Yeah, Tanahashi has that star power that it's really hard to pick against him in any match he's in, honestly. Unless it's against Okada. Tanahashi hasn't always had the best luck against Okada.
And the next match and the next prediction we bring you live, we will be announcing and new ROH Tag Team Champions.
And I'm pretty sure this match is going to take a while because ladder matches usually do.
And we're only 45 minutes into our show, so, we might actually hold out and give that prediction before we end. Besides that, I haven't heard from our interview yet tonight, so.
Exactly.
So.
And once again, check out the Kids Radio group page.
Oh, sorry.
You must be really tired if you fall asleep sitting on the what?
So what's your feelings on the pitch clock? We're talking about baseball and there's one game out of the way. I guess they said that the average time for a game was just about 2.5 hours. Maybe a little bit less.
No. This is a question we should have waited for Monday on, but you know what? We're just going to roll with it anyway.
Hey, we can ask it again on Monday, get Stan Lee's opinion.
I don't think it's a good idea. I think if you change the game too much, it's going to be like the NFL. And look what happened to the NFL when they started doing all those rule changes.
It's a very valid point. I'll tell you the one thing that I keep hearing about, and we can talk about this again on Monday, but I keep hearing about possibly doing the electronic umpires by having the cameras up above, the stadium and then, just focusing down. I don't really care for that rule if they implement it because it takes the intrigue out of the game. Right? There's always an intrigue of, hey, did the umpire get that one right? And the fans yelling at the umpire if he didn't. If you do that, if you do the computer thing, what are you going to yell about? The fact that the computer glitched?
Huh.
I mean, that one, if I was Rob Manfred, I would stay so far away from that one, it's not even funny.
No, exactly. I would too. And I'm sorry, you asked me a question earlier about SOS and her gimmick.
Yes.
She's called the circuit, the circuit system. Yeah, the circuit system.
That's right. That's a really good name, by the way. And again, I would recommend people to go check out her on YouTube. And just look up SOS and female wrestler, and she'll pop right up there. The match I would recommend is a last woman standing match between her and Gypsy Mac,
which is another lady we're trying to get on this show.
Yes, I was incredibly impressed with that match. The spot that made me go, holy crap, was when SOS got a kendo stick. And anybody that's been in wrestling and has been hit by a kendo stick or looked at a kendo stick, you guys know how hard those things are. Gypsy broke a kendo stick over the back of SOS. Now, that's impressive on two levels. One, it's impressive that Gypsy could swing the kendo stick that hard. And it's also impressive for SOS's side that she could take that. And then get up afterwards.
Very impressive, and we're looking forward to interviewing her at the end of April.
And as far as Panda goes, I haven't seen any videos on her yet, which I'll go look at tonight. But just the pictures I've seen, she looks like a very muscular lady.
And remember, Panda's only been in the wrestling business for about a year.
Yes. Which,
So
I mean, to be well known enough to get on the radar of Sizzle, who I believe told you that he was going to get us like 3 of his, what he considered the best, correct?
He left me in the message, that these ladies are 3 of the best female wrestlers that he knows. So actually, he said they were his top 3.
So let's think about that for a minute. So if that should tell you right there that Panda's somebody to pay attention to, because if you've only been in the wrestling business for a year and people are already looking at you as one of the best, there's a reason for that.
Well, absolutely there is.
So you have satellite.
Yes, I do.
It's almost 7 o'clock.
Okay, your point.
Which would mean if they ran the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal as the main event, it should be either in the progress or getting close to starting.
Right, but I don't get, because it's on Fox, I get it at the same time
that's
you
right.
do.
It's a local channel.
So I don't get the cheese from the East Coast. But however, I can really look it up if you really want to know if you're wearing a dress or not.
Well, I think the fans would want to know if I'm wearing a dress or not. I've already kind of made my peace with the fact that I'm probably wearing a dress tonight, based on the fact that I made the idiot move of not checking who was in the Battle Royal first before I picked Dolph Ziggler. And that's no insult on Dolph Ziggler, so don't come to the Frontier and super kick me and try to do a famouser on the floor.
Yes, it is, Mr. Ziggler. He said he purposely chose you because you were his hero. And then he heard who was in the Battle Royal, and he cried like a baby trying to get out of the pick.
No, but I will tell you this. I think Dolph Ziggler needs to leave the WWE. And I'll tell you why. There's nothing else for Dolph Ziggler to do in the WWE. And it's obvious that WWE doesn't want to push Mr. Ziggler right now. And so where do I think he would go? Well, the obvious answer would be he would go to AEW, which I actually like because he could team up with his brother, the Hollywood hunk Ryan Nemeth. It would get Nemeth out of that group with Peter Avalon and let him show some of his amateur wrestling skills, just like Dolph has.
Oh, Solo got fined.
What'd he get fined for?
Dropping the F-bomb at a live event.
Oh, well, that'll do it.
Oh, and here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll, please.
Well, I'm wearing a dress.
Winner of the 2023 Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is Bobby Lashley. Congratulations, everybody. Nathan Knox lost the bet already, and it's not even WrestleMania. He will be wearing a dress in August to the Mariners game.
Crap.
Any thoughts, Mr. Knox?
Well, you know, I've always tried to make the best out of any situation. So now that I've lost, I'm damn sure going to make that dress look good. Although, was it you that said something about high heels yesterday?
Nobody's going to see the shoes on you. You're in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I mean, the shoes would be kind of pointless. Even though high heels do have a point on them.
Research shows people remember ads with a catchy song. So to help you remember that Liberty Mutual customizes your home insurance, here's a little number.
Oh, I need to breaking news. Just a second. I gotta do some breaking news to your co-host.
Okay.
She knows the Memorial Battle Royal is your crowning is part of it, right?
Yes. And she'll be happy because she wanted me to wear the wig that she brings in, so. Excuse me for a minute as I inform my mom and roommate. Mom, I lost. The bet. Because part of it is one of the matches tonight. And I lost. Because Tony just looked up who won. Yep. I'm still trying to figure out if I should wear a bra or not.
I don't know. You'd have to ask Pat on that one.
I think I'd be kind of afraid of what the answer would be.
So just so you know that I'm not cheating.
Okay, I believe you. That's after I second guessed what I was thinking. That's not who I thought was gonna win it. Who I thought was gonna win it would have been after I saw who was in it. I thought it would have been LA Knight.
Dummy, yeah.
Because then the LA Knight could have went to WrestleMania and said, well, I'm the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal winner. I demand a match. And Lashley could still do the same. To be perfectly fair. Especially now that Bray Wyatt is pretty much guaranteed not to make it to WrestleMania.
Which also confirmed our other suspicion. Brian Cage is not going to WWE.
Right, because
that was the match they were going to talk about replacing the Bray Wyatt match with was Bobby Lashley and Brian Cage.
Yes. The only thing that's intriguing to me and makes me kind of go, maybe Bray could sneak in there, is on First Take with Stephen A. Smith. Nick Khan said there'll be a lot of surprises for WrestleMania. Now, the reason for that is probably because they want to make it as attractive for whoever's going to buy the WWE. My question is, any ideas on what these surprises might be?
Well, I think one part of it's going to be a returning Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, Surrey wants to have some opinions.
I think I want to say we're going to have Dustin Rhodes there too. But I don't, as far as that, maybe because Supercard of Honor is almost over and he hasn't debuted on AEW yet, maybe they got the Switchblade.
That's possible. Or the only thing I can say against that, do you wait if Jay White does go to AEW, do you wait to have him debut next week in New Jersey because Juice Robinson is taking on Ricky Starks?
Very intriguing.
And if you remember, the music that was used when the feud started between Ricky Starks and Juice Robinson was the Bullet Club.
Correct.
Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. Personally, I'd actually like to see him go to WWE because we've already seen him at AEW. Not for a long time, mind you, but we have seen him at AEW. So I think that might lose a little bit of his luster because, he had that match last year at Forbidden Door and the interaction with the Elite. Personally, and I know you and I have talked about this, I wouldn't mind seeing Jay White show up after Cody wins the title, and then Jay White becomes Cody's next opponent at Backlash.
Well, you see, why wouldn't you then have Finn Balor stand there too and make it a triple threat?
Ooh, I like that idea.
The three former leaders of Bullet Club.
The only thing that would make that better, if you were going to do a match like that, is if AJ Styles was healthy, then you could do a fatal 4-way.
Yeah, and we all know that AJ is out for another couple of months at least.
I believe it was 4.
Yeah.
Which, you know who else I feel sorry for in the fact that, AJ's out is the Good Brothers. Because without AJ there, it seems like WWE has nothing to do for the, nothing for the Good Brothers to do.
Well, hey, they were in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Well, see, I didn't know that ahead of time. I must have missed those two, so I stand corrected.
But normally you're absolutely right. They don't have any stuff for them to do normally without the third.
And I was thinking about NXT call-ups after last night. The tag team Go ahead. The tag team that I could see getting called up as part of a trio would be Indus Sher and Jinder Mahal. Although with Jinder Mahal it wouldn't be a call-up, he would just go back up to. But Indus Sher would be called up.
You know, the biggest one, I think, really isn't a surprise because it's time, is going to be Bond Breaker.
Yes, I agree with that one also. You know what else I'm excited about is when we watch SmackDown tonight, they should announce the matches for some of the matches for next week.
Oh yeah, for the for the Friday Night SmackDown live from Portland, Oregon.
Yes,
Oregon.
which we will be attending.
Oh, excuse me.
I haven't worn this mask since February for nothing.
Again, it looks better without it. You look better without it on.
I feel better without it on, to be perfectly honest with you.
You know, and we're so close, ladies and gentlemen. So close. And remember, tomorrow is April 1st. Not only is it WrestleMania, but it's actually April Fool's Day. Wouldn't it be funny if we all woke up and Vince McMahon goes, surprise! We're putting WrestleMania all on Sunday instead.
That would be funny. And, okay, did you hear the...
It
Go
would
ahead.
be funny because the old man isn't really funny at all. You know, we'd all know that's a funny haha April Fool's joke because Vince McMahon, you ain't funny.
Yeah. So, have you heard the story today that Vince the worst kept secret in the world? I guess WCW, my apologies, WWE filed a stuff with the SEC to officially make Vince McMahon a new employee with World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah, I read something like that.
Okay, I understand why they had to do it because technically he retired and maybe they had to file the paperwork. But really, guys, to make a whole story out of that, we've known for months he was still getting paid by the company.
It was a slow news day. What can we say? You know, WrestleMania tomorrow was a slow news night.
Well, that's true. And yes, full disclosure, we're kind of filling time till we can get the results of those last two matches.
Or we go off the air to do our
interview, which we're very excited about.
Which is on, by the way. So tonight we're going over to the Zoom platform, so it'll be on our social medias. We just won't have it on StreamYard with Special Olympics own Mr. DJ Shane.
Yes, and I believe that one is scheduled for 8 o'clock. If I'm not
mistaken. 8 o'clock tonight, and as soon as it's done, Mr. Nos will get it up, will work as hard as he can to get it up on our social.
Yes, I will put it up on YouTube. I will put it on Facebook if I can. I haven't tried to do that in a while, so that might take me a little bit.
But at least we'll have it on our Facebook pages.
Yes.
So let me see if there's any progress on that. As Mr. Nos said, it might take an hour because there's still no result on it.
Well, it is a ladder match, and history dictates that those usually take a while.
So maybe we'll come on with a after dark and give you those three predictions or something later tonight.
Or
the biggest, yeah, go ahead.
Or we can fill those in tomorrow when we do the, either way.
Yes. But the biggest breaking news of the night is Nathan Noss, before WrestleMania, has already lost his WrestleMania perfect streak for predictions. And he will be joining me live August at a Mariners game wearing a dress. And God, I hope it's a long dress and not a short dress, because those are some hairy, scary legs.
I don't have hairy legs. I have chicken legs. So, and like I said before, I might have lost the bet, but I'm going to make that dress look good.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward with no positive breast cancer is overwhelming, but I never just found my way. I made it. All I could to prevent recurrence. Fresenius reduces the risk of recurrence of HR-positive, HER2-negative, node-positive early breast cancer.
Is there any other topics you want to?
Well, we didn't get a chance to talk about Dynamite, and that's since I've actually watched the match. I want to give a shout out to Kenny by God Omega for having yet another stellar match against Jeff Cobb.
Yes, and back-to-back weeks of him having stellar matches. I think Kenny Omega's back to his rhythm that he was in before all the injuries.
And he even won that match with no Don Callis and no Elite at his side. However, he got beat down after the match by the BCC and a heel turn from one Mr. Bryan Danielson.
And a very vicious version of the LaBelle Walk.
So, setting up the biggest pay-per-view of the year that AEW puts on, I can see a Stadium Stampede match or a Blood and Guts match, BCC versus the Elite with Hangman Adam Page. So all the Elite are back together.
I like that idea. Both those ideas, actually. You couldn't go wrong with either one of them.
It's starting to get built towards that, I believe. And that's just my personal opinion. And I'm just the executive producer who doesn't really know squat about wrestling. Well, except the only thing is, I do know a lot about wrestling.
I was going to say, yes, you do. And we do want to send out our well wishes to Don Callis, who got busted open when John Moxley hit him with that forearm. And he fell backwards and hit his head on a lighting fixture that was on the ground.
Exactly. And, one more shout out before I look and see if the Reach for the Sky thing is done. I want to give a shout out to, I haven't done this in a while, so forgive me. Boom!
Yes, I'm glad you brought that up. Adam Cole,
baby.
Adam Cole, congratulations. You fought back from places that most people probably would have just said, I've had a great career. But kudos to you for that. And kudos to Tony Khan for letting the lines be, everybody knows that they're together, but they've never been acknowledged as being together on TV by letting Britt Baker come out and give Adam Cole a kiss in the middle of the ring. I thought that was a very classy move on Tony Khan's part.
Very classy move, and let's talk about Adam Cole, baby, and Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Damn, dude, you got lucky.
Uh-huh.
Your fiance is not only a dentist on the days that she isn't wrestling, but she's a wrestler and travels with you. So you're never away from her. You're one lucky son of a bitch.
And let's talk about the type of man that Adam Cole is. For those who watched the AEW All Access that premiered right after Dynamite, after everything that man went through with the concussions and stuff, there was a scene on there where they went and saw Doc Samson of WWE fame, but now with WWE. I mean, with AEW. And Britt Baker said, well, what happens if he gets another concussion? And, you know, Doc Samson said that could be some serious stuff. Well, then they went out to the car, and Adam Cole literally looked at her and said, I'm sorry. And she said, what are you sorry about? He said, I'm sorry I put you through this. The reason I brought that up is the man's going through his livelihood probably being over, or the aspect of that probably being more prevalent than it is now, obviously. And the first thing he thinks of is how it's making Britt Baker feel, and the toll that what he's going through is putting on her. So I gave you a lot of credit for that, Adam Cole, and I think people don't realize the type of man Adam Cole is, regardless of the type of character he plays on TV, which right now is a face, but I mean from his characters in the past.
You know.
Donna, did you have something that you needed? Yes. I can check for you. Nate, is there anything you need right now?
No.
Okay. Let me check to see if it's available.
So you were saying, Tony?
Hang on a second.
I didn't know you had two boys. They're quite a bit apart in age, aren't they?
Well, how that happened was, when I was growing up, I was an only child and I was kind of lonely. And so Mom and Dad, they decided that I needed a companion, and Bob came up with it.
Okay, now I'm intrigued to what's making you laugh.
I don't know if I want to say it or not because you haven't seen it yet, and I don't want to do that to you.
It's all right. I don't mind spoilers.
Well, this is a fact, not a spoiler. I think Matt Hardy gets out of his contract with Ethan on
Page.
Wednesday. There's a match. Ethan Page versus Hook, and they're playing the storyline off that Stokely Hathaway is out recovering from Hook's beating.
Yeah.
So Matt Hardy brokered the deal with the contract, and Hook had already signed, and Ethan goes to, well, I'm glad you've always had my back, now give me yours. And so Matt turned around and let him sign the contract on his back.
Yeah.
And Matt Hardy did a wink and delete.
Oh, that's going to be interesting.
So I think, hopefully, I'm hoping, Tony Khan, I'm hoping to God you did it. And I can finally say the wheels with bed can be deleted. I waited all podcasts to do that. I've been very, very good and haven't went broken Matt Hardy all podcasts.
Yes, I know.
So your co-host goes, ha ha ha, LOL, OMG. He's going to make one pretty LOL.
Well, she would know. She's probably gonna be one of the ones that are helping me get ready.
So again, for those of you that have not heard this, Mr. Nathan Noss's perfect WrestleMania streak to not have to wear a dress has been successfully failed. He lost the bet, and it's not even WrestleMania Day because he chose who? That's right, Dolph Ziggler, a jobber for WWE now, in a battle royal. Come on, man. Seriously? A jobber?
I was going for the shock and awe value.
I mean, you should really go for a real man with a real physique, you know, and look really damn good in the ring, you know, but instead you went with Dolph. Dolph. It doesn't even sound like a real name, Dolph.
Again, I was going for the shock and awe value. That was the first person that popped into my head that everybody would go, why the hell did they have him with it?
It's for people 45 plus and average risk, not high risk. False positive and negative results may occur. Ask your provider for Cologuard. My A1C stayed here. It needed to be here.
Raise A1C is down with Rybelsus.
I'm down with Rybelsus.
My A1C is down with Rybelsus.
So, as far as putting our upcoming interview on Facebook, I don't know, since it's going to be a 2-hour interview, if it'll let us post it on Facebook outside of, doing it through StreamYard. But I can guarantee you it'll be on our YouTube channel.
No, correct. Absolutely. It'll be, and it might not even be a 2-hour. It might not even be a 2-hour interview. We don't know yet. We'll have to wait and see. But let me look one more time for update.
Now, on that one, I don't remember I'm trying to remember who I picked on that one last night.
Okay, it looks like it's over. Okay, so.
Do you remember who I picked last night?
Yes, you did. You picked the Lucha Brothers.
Oh, that's right, yes.
And I went with
Top Flight.
One of us is right.
Please let it be me. I need a rebound after the dress thing.
One of us is right.
And that person would be...
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we do have new ROH World Tag Team Champions. For the first time in ROH, they've been tagging together for years. And yes, they are a set of brothers. But for the first time in their career, and new ROH Tag Team Champions. Lucha.
Yes!
Lucha.
Nice!
So congratulations, Mr. Noss. At least you can predict something correctly.
Okay, I feel better now. So the next match should be Shibata versus Yuta.
So
Maybe we better say that.
So that match, Wheeler Yuta was accompanied to the stage by his Blackpool Combat Club teammate, John Moxley. But Moxley returned to the back after we met the judges. The judges for the Pure Championship,
Yep.
from the beautiful people, Madison Rain,
Ooh.
Pat Buck,
Okay.
and the Fallen Angel, Christopher Daniels.
Ooh, nice. So wait, Christopher Daniels had to wrestle the ladder match and then go to the judges table?
That's what I said, Nah.
Wow.
So it came down to, so in that ladder match, it came down to Rey Fenix versus the Kingdom.
Okay.
Phoenix and both Taven and Bennett were on the ladder, and Phoenix fought him off and grabbed the title. So Lucha Brothers for the win.
Nice.
So with that being said, there's only 2 matches left, and the Pure Championship is underway. Again, we both went Wheeler Yuta on that one. Or no, you went.
I went with Shibata, although
You went Shibata. I went Wheeler. Yes. And then we both went Castioli in the world title match. So those 2 matches will be talked about either later tonight or tomorrow during Nathan's and Tonette's picks.
Right.
So until then, everybody, thank you for sharing part of your Friday evening with us. Remember, subscribe to our podcast, and enjoy WrestleMania Night 1 tomorrow night.
Also to our Facebook page.
Oh yeah. And if Nathan and I do not join you tomorrow night for a recap show, which I'm not sure if we're going to do or not, we will definitely do one on Sunday, and we will recap both nights of WrestleMania.
Yes, I believe that might be what we do, is just recap both nights on Sunday night after night 2 of WrestleMania.
All right. So with that being said, Nathan can give you the results of the Pure Championship and the ROH title match with his predictions with Tonette tomorrow.
Yep, sounds good.
With that note, we bid you adieu. Bang. Thank you for watching from the chair, where inclusion matters. We'll see you next time.
And good night.